All right. Well, good morning. My name's Crystal Green. I'm managing director here with the Super Patch, and we are going to do a little team training today. We're going to touch base on, we've labeled this training maximizing social media for Super Patch success during peak season for network marketing. And so we're going to touch base on that today. And a lot of this training is going to be focused around something that I'm skilled at, I would say, and that's social media marketing. And so that's what we're going to base this training on, is how to utilize especially Facebook, or more specifically Facebook, and then of course across other platforms if you so choose. So I know there's a lot of people that have asked, well, how do you build on Facebook? I don't have a lot of friends here. I don't I'm not in a lot of groups. My network's not very big, and I'll tell you that I didn't start with 194,000 followers. I started with zero. And so it is something that, throughout the years that has taken me a little time to learn, and it is a little bit of a time investment. However, with the skills that I've learned and the things that we teach and collaborate together as a team, these are things that we can kind of expedite the process, so you won't be building for 9 years. You might be building for 9 months. But the key is consistency and patience, because there's a lot of folks that'll come on and they'll say something like, I put up a post and no one was interested, and I'm like, okay, but how many? Well, I put one up last week. Well, the key and the name of the game is consistency, so we're going to talk a little bit about that today. And I'm really excited to see, that we've got some faces on here today and more jumping on. So we'll just allow that to continue to happen, and then we'll share the recording later. And then leaders, I'm just asking you to make sure that your teams get this, so we know, everyone's getting the training that they need. And so good morning, Miss Dellery. I'm
Good
happy to
morning.
see you on. So we're gonna get started. So first, I'm going to just cover a couple announcements. And just to remind you, we've got double spiff bonuses right now. Double spiff bonuses. Okay. This goes until the end of the month. And what that means is all of our enrollment bonuses, what we get paid on kits, are doubled. So that $9.99 kit, instead of $100, you're getting paid $200. And that's really, really phenomenal. And I know a lot of us are building, especially to build up momentum running into September, October, November, or excuse me, September, October. Yeah, September, October, November. It's been a long morning. Looking at the next 3 months, we're kind of gearing up for that. And so this is a good time to take advantage of that. And then, of course, the Times Square Challenge. I believe that's going to be something that they do every single month, which is really cool. I'm going to say it like this. There are other countries dominating our Times Square billboard right now. And as much as I love us, and I say other countries, my Europe leg, Canadian leg, all of you, I love you so much. I want to see your faces on because you count as part of our team. I don't want to see the other guys on there. Okay. And so let's do our best to really push for that. The person with the top sales volume and the person with the top enrollment volume. Okay, not how many enrollees, but how much volume comes from, that's usually kit volume. They're winning that spot on Times Square. And then Jay sends out a camera crew to your house. He gets the whole, I mean, you get the whole celebrity treatment, and it's really great. But what it'll do for your business is something else. I mean, it's no one else in the industry can say I'm sitting on, Times Square promoting my business. And this is something they do every month. And I'll tell you that I was really shocked when I discovered that the people that had won the Times Square billboard last month didn't really have as many enrollments. I mean, obviously they did an amazing job, but they didn't have as many enrollments or volume as I thought that they would. And so if that does anything besides give you a little bit of comfort knowing we've all got a shot, we need to kick it into gear, okay? New comp plan enhancements are coming. They're going to start training us on our leadership call next week on that. And then, like always, I'm going to get back into our chat and just share all that information with you immediately. I know Carrie and Steve will drop it into Miracle Workers immediately. Mark will make sure it's in Team Fire chat immediately, because we're not going to wait till the whole field gets training. Once we know information, we're getting it to you right now because we want to be prepared. And I know my runners here, we're really hitting the ground hard. Okay. Right now we're already running hard. Our legs aren't, we haven't stopped spinning. Okay. But I want to make sure that we're on top of those. And then there's 5 new launch kits that are coming out that are going to be geared more towards network marketers. So as we have a new comp plan coming, we also have new packages, that are going to really, really entice the person that's out there that maybe is building a team and or has a big team and they're looking for a home, and there's a lot of companies out there doing that right, or a lot of people doing that right now. And then of course, 8 p.m. tonight Eastern, 8 p.m. Eastern, Mark Jackson's hosting another opportunity call. He does it every Thursday, Saturday, Monday, and Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you're on those. Make sure you're on those. Okay. So if you haven't already started inviting people, once we're done the Zoom today, get out there and remind your people this is happening. Do something, entice them. Offer a free patch. You guys, we're going to give it to them anyway if they want a sample. So just put something out on your social media. Say, hey, if you do me a favor and listen in tonight or support me, I'm going to share a testimony. And, if you sit in, I'll give you a free patch or free patches to the person who sits in or anyone who sits in. And that usually awakes them. People like free things. And then compliance. I'm just going to touch very briefly because I know that we've already spread that through our chats and groups and everything, but it's very important that we're watching our language, that we're being very cautious about how we put out our testimonies. And listen, I was guilty of it when I first started. I spewed every disease and illness I have because I was so excited after 4 years of being bedridden and walker bound that or in wheelchair bound that I literally was like, oh, I have this issue, this issue, this issue, this issue, and these patches have helped me. And the reality is while I know I'm not making a claim that the patches have cured me or anything like that, there's other people, and especially those that like to regulate the system, that don't like when we say things like that. So, for instance, yesterday we said instead of saying anti-aging, say feel younger. And that's just another verbiage. It says the same thing. It's the same thing, but it's not making a claim. So let's just be careful with that. And then if you haven't watched the Amazing Patch Stories training yet, that one has been shared in our chat and it's been shared in Miracle Workers group as well. It's on my YouTube, but it's private. So in order to see it on YouTube, you need to be able to have the link, which has also been shared. So if you have not seen that training yet, I'm really asking you, please watch it. That is a group that I've spent a lot of time in to make sure, along with other admins, to make sure that that group runs for us. It's a safe place. And since I'm talking to my team right now and anybody else that watches this later, since we will share that to the rest of our community with Super Patch, um, you need to be in there. You need to be in there. This is for you. It's a safe place for you to add your potentials, the people you're already talking to, the people you haven't talked to yet. We're going to make sure those people get back to you, but you need to know how to utilize that group. So I want to make sure that you're watching that training. It was a short training. It was straight to the point, but it was very thorough and I did it. So it's a good training. So Carrie and I got that done for you. Okay, so now we're going to talk about maximizing social media for Super Patch success during peak season in network marketing. So those of you who don't know, September, October, November, those are the busiest months in network marketing, busiest months. And if you're not already feeling it, start to gear up towards that. You got to talk more. Okay, you got to be in more inboxes. You got to be posting more. You got to be patching more. You got to be getting more people on the opportunity calls because they're waking up right now. Kids are going to start going back to school. People are going to start wanting to better their health. They're going to have more time because, especially those with children, they're not at home as much if they're, out in school. People really, really, really start to invest this time of the year. And that includes joining companies. It's the busiest time of the year, not only for sales, but for enrollments. And so what we do right now, the seeds we're planting right now, what we've done over the last few months of just planting seeds. And I've spoken to many of you that are like, I just feel like I'm posting and I'm messaging and I'm sending samples and no one's biting and no one's saying yes. You're planting the seed and you're about to reap the harvest soon. So keep going. Keep going. Don't stop. Okay. And all of your leaders, okay, all of your leaders are going to tell you the same thing. In order to, when you're doing what we're doing, it consists of being consistent and planting that seed and making sure that you're following up and you're staying consistent. Notice I said it twice. You have to be consistent. Okay. So this presents, being that we're entering into the busiest next few months, this presents a huge opportunity for us to be successful here with Super Patch. And the corporate, on the corporate side of things, they're doing a lot of things for us, like the new comp plan enhancements, the new, the new, I almost said welcome kit, but the new enrollment kits, all of, the customer acquisition program, all of those things. They're putting in so much work now because they know it too. September, October, November are the busiest months in network marketing. And so we're going to capitalize on this. And in order to do that, it's essential to have some kind of solid strategy in place so you know what you're doing during these months. Okay. And so I'll touch base on a few notes. The CapEx program, while that continues to launch, okay, it's going to increase visibility for our company. It's building our brand. If you were on the call on Monday night, you heard our president of Super Patch, you heard him mention like this is building brands, okay? And for us, what that does is it allows us to capitalize on that in the sense that more people, if I see something I like, okay, um, a lot of times, nine times out of 10, I'm going, well, the company's selling it, so is it really as good as they say it is? Or are they just saying that because they're marketing it? And that's a lot of people when it comes to products like what we have, or when you see mass national advertisement, which is what's happening, they're going to go and they're going to start searching. They're going to start Googling. They're going to go on Facebook. They're going to look for groups and other people. I mean, and they do this for even prescription drugs. I mean, there's a few drugs on the market that are for weight loss that literally have their own Facebook testimonial groups, like we have with Amazing Patch Stories. And they're not even making money for promoting the product. They're just like, I'm on this and here it is. But the reality is and no matter what anyone tells you, and I've been doing this long enough, Facebook is a search engine for a lot of things, okay? And that's how they built it. And so a lot of people now are coming on Facebook and they're going, well, let's type in Super Patch, let's see what pulls up. I saw that there's an opportunity to earn income. Let's pull that up. Let's see what happens, and the what you're doing right now as you consistently post, as you consistently add people to Amazing Patch Stories, or, and not or, and engage in that group. And as you consistently, put up information about our opportunity calls, not the link itself on your page, but, the enticement, hey, who wants to sit on an info call with me tonight? I'll give you some free patches just for doing so, or, whatever you feel in your capacity to do. But right now, as we plant seeds, it's important for this because as people start to trickle in, which they're going to start pouring in soon. I mean, our national campaign is in radios, TV advertisements, I mean, airports, we're in magazines, newspapers, Times Square, like really, they've put a lot of work into this. That's why it took so long to get it launched, because they wanted to make sure it was good for us. Okay. And us and I mentioned the other day, Jay had mentioned phase one and phase two. Well, us as part of phase two or phase one, we've all sat through all the growing pains of that. So we know what's coming. And now it's time for us to capitalize on what they've done for us, all the work we've put in and what we've established so far over the last 18 months, even if you've only been here a couple days or weeks or months, right? The reality is your leadership team here, we've been building here since pretty much the start, Carrie and Steve specifically as well. So just know that that CapEx program is only here to help us as well. I mean, if you're buying tokens, jump on it. But as far as utilizing it and capitalizing on it for social media growth, use it. Use it. In order for them to find you, you have to post about it. It's not enough to put on your Facebook bio, works at Super Patch. You don't work at Super Patch, just so you guys know. We're all independent contractors. They independently contract with each and every one of us. We are each business owners. Okay? So you are a business owner. And in order to promote your business, the benefit you have, first of all, is that you have a corporate team that is also promoting your product and opportunity, but they're not promoting your business. Do you understand the difference? Okay. You have McDonald's franchise, but McDonald's franchise is not promoting each individual McDonald's, they're promoting the brand. It's our job, or if someone had, their own little franchise, to promote that location. Okay. Each of us are a location. So when it comes to Facebook and when it comes to building on social media, okay, you want to make sure that you're posting daily. Okay, consistency, and you'll hear me say this a lot, consistency is key. What does that look like? Share testimonies, success stories, and engaging content to keep people and your audience motivated, and make sure that it's easy to find your post when they start looking for super patch. Okay, so if you're typing, this freedom patch has really helped me, and you're holding a picture of that freedom patch versus sharing a corporate post or sharing one of my posts. Don't do that, you guys. Don't do that. My network's already big enough. Don't open your network to me. Okay. And I'm going to teach you this because I've taught this throughout. Tiffany, welcome. Tiffany can attest to this. Okay. I've always told you, don't share from my page. If you have something on my page that you like, save it, copy and paste it, make it a little bit of your own. This fly is killing me here. Make it a little bit of your own and then post it on your personal wall. I don't need that gratification. Like, you don't need to comment my leader, tag me. Don't do that to yourself. You're opening your network to me. Okay. And quite frankly, I love you all. You're all on my team, and those even not on my downline, right, that'll watch this later. The reality is I'm not going to give you my network. Don't give me yours. Okay. And none of us have time in the day, and no McDonald's is going to stop a person and say, wait, where did you see the ad? You belong over on the south side of town. That's the McDonald's you belong at. Okay. And so we need to make sure that we're staying consistent and we're posting, but it is free for all. If you see something on my page or on another sideline, upline, downline, you know, in Amazing Patch Stories, any of those things, take them and use them. Use that content, but make it your own. Okay. I'm not telling you have to be a graphic expert. I'm just saying take it, put a little filter over it so Facebook doesn't trigger it as spam, and that's what happens. That's why a lot of people in network marketing, do you guys remember, those of you that like OGs, right? Do you remember back in the day when everyone would be like hashtag this, and that, all these different type of emojis on a post, and it's the same post, and you're seeing it through like 10 different companies. They're all using the same exact post. Okay. Well, when that happened, that's what gave us a bad name in the industry, right? Not us necessarily in Super Patch, but specifically like network marketers, because people got on there and they were learning how to utilize the system. And instead, they were overusing the same post. And so the algorithm, it's a computer, right? That's what it is. It picked up on all these posts and labeled them as spam. And then people started getting shadow banned. So if you're going to use a post, make it your own and share it to your and post it to your wall. Don't share it. Don't share at all. Okay. And listen, unless it's like a content post, that's different. If it's a content post you like of mine or I like of yours, I'd rather share it from your page to give you some traction. Like, I like a recipe or something funny, something like that. But when it comes to business, make it your own. Okay. Make it your own. Um, and then, like I said, as you continue to post consistently on your page, then you're going to have the algorithm that picks up on those keywords: freedom, liberty, pain, sleep, balance, super patch, all the things. Okay. You don't have to hashtag them all. You can use some hashtags, but you don't have to hashtag them all. The algorithm's naturally going to do that. I have organic leads every single day. And I'm not kidding, every single day. Now, granted, I've spent a lot of time, probably more than most people, building my social media platform. So that organic lead isn't something that naturally comes. It's something that took work and consistency to build it. Okay. So those of you who are just starting out, don't get discouraged if you only have one lead a week. Don't get discouraged. You're building that platform. You have to continue to build in that and be consistent with it. And then, like I said, as people start searching, there's not a lot of people now. People that came into Super Patch, I mean, we come from all ends of the world and lots of different experience. But the reality is a lot of people were not using social media. They weren't using social media like we were here. Okay. And I know that because when I joined, it was because I found a video. A friend of mine shared a video with me of a demo, and we don't even share those anymore, you guys. Okay. No one is utilizing social media in the way that we're teaching you to. So my suggestion for you is really, really make sure that you're plugging in and you're learning how to do it. And if you don't know how to do it, this is how I learned. Are you ready? I got on my Facebook, I pushed all the buttons, I trialed and errored, I got on Google, I watched some YouTube videos, and I figured it out. That's how I figured it out. There's no secret sauce. I mean, yes, there's books out there and there's this and that. Just get in there. You can't break it. You can't break it. Okay. So just touch all the buttons. And then, of course, leveraging the Amazing Patch Stories group is another. Okay. So leverage that Amazing Patch Stories group because it's a resource that's free for you. Free. Okay. And we talk about that in the training, but just to just to give you an idea, okay, I want to give you an example of success that I had recently. I had a gal that I had added to the group, okay, and I forgot about it. I added her months ago, okay, and now we have some traction running. People are learning how to utilize the group. We're posting in there, the engagements in there, okay, more testimonies, traffic is leading. So the reason that she's seeing the post now is because there's more engagement in there. So the algorithm is sending her more of these posts that are relevant to her. Okay. And in her case, it was pain and this and that. Okay. Now she comments on a post. She says, well, how do I get a hold of this? I'd like to try it. Since I invited her, I messaged her. Now, if any one of you would have invited her, I would have tagged you and said, hey, Randall, would you please reach out to Delary? She's asking questions, and then you would reach out to the person you added. And so once I reached out to her, it was really easy. Do you know why it was easy to have a cold market conversation? Because she was no longer cold market. She's been in our Facebook group. She's been trickled down, and all the information about our patches and the testimonies and our opportunity have been thrown in her face. So she's not a cold market lead. She's just someone that was in my cold market that I threw in that group, hoping maybe she'll be interested. Okay. I never had a conversation with her before. So then I messaged her and I said, hey there, I'm the person that added you to that group. I'm not sure how much information you've seen, but I'd love to help you. Do you mind if I share a video or a voice clip with you about my experience? I'm also going to share a quick 6-minute video with you. Please watch that. And most people will never tell me, no, I don't want to hear your experience. Okay. No one's gonna be like, nah, I don't want to hear how they work, you know? So she said, yeah, definitely. So I sent her the video before she even said yes, because I wasn't asking. At that point, I said, is it okay to send you a voice clip? If she would have said no, I would have typed it. Okay. And so once she said yes, I'd already sent the 6-minute video, the John Brinkus video. Okay. And then I sent her a voice clip, and I was super chill about it because I wasn't having to sell her. It wasn't a cold market message. She came to me in a sense because she commented in the group. And so once I messaged her back, I said, this is my experience. About a year and a half ago, I was, bedridden, wheelchair walker bound. I had struggled with pain and issues because of my condition for a long time. I'm not sure what you struggle with, but, for my household, it's helped me in this way. And it was a quick 90-second voice clip that I also eventually got to. These patches have helped me so much. They're drug free, ingredient free, chemical free, they're made in Minnesota, all the things. Okay. And then I ended that with, can you tell me a little bit more about yourself and how you're hoping these patches will help you? And then followed by that, I sent her that's the compliant, the brand new one, right? List that has all of our 12 patches and what some of them can help, what all of them can help with. Okay. So then I sent her that, and then I just waited. I'd have left it. Okay. This was yesterday. I left it. And then she messaged me back all of her issues. What's Mark say? In the first couple minutes, people are going to just pour out everything they've got going on with them. Okay. And I allowed her to do that. Once she got back to me with that, I said, well, did you get the picture I sent above? I know she got it. Okay. It's a question. The key is questions, right? Did you see the picture I sent above? Did it come through? Yes, it did. Well, could you look at that list and tell me which of the pain points there are most important for you? Which would give you a better quality of life? Okay. You see, I'm asking questions. I'm not saying, oh, well, based on what you just said to me, freedom, this, and that. I'm making her do a little research herself by reading that list and then confirming again. I already know what she needs. She needs to know what she needs, right? So then when she says, well, I really could help, pain is my biggest pain point. Pain. The rest, if I could deal with, if I just could get some help with pain. And I said, well, freedom is your best option. And I would also suggest, based on what you told me, liberty. And so that's when I was able to kind of guide her into what she needs. It's not about upselling. We know that liberty and freedom work best together, right? Do you all know that liberty is like the update to your whole body? Okay, and we explain this in a very different ways. But liberty or victory, you put that patch on and it enhances all of the other patches because it puts your body at a state of homeostasis and it tells your body, hey, function better. So all of the other patches are going to work better. Okay. And so if you have someone that's like, well, the pain patch does some, but not enough, tell them to add, not replace, add liberty, add victory. Okay. And sometimes it takes trial and error. I personally don't wear victory. My husband doesn't wear liberty. He wears victory, I wear liberty. It just works. I know other people that wear both. I don't think you didn't need to, but if you want to, whatever, to each their own. But the reality is what happened from that is that Amazing Patch Stories group was my intro. That Amazing Patch Stories group and my consistent posting on my social media, on my storefront, okay? That allowed her to look at not only me, because of course she would have clicked on my name and done some research on me. And if I had nothing on my storefront, she'd be like, what's the scam? Why doesn't she talk about it? Okay, so I want you guys to assess that a little bit, that if you're not at least making one business opportunity or product post, doesn't have to be both and it doesn't have to be a lot. But if you're not making at least one post a day that seems personal, okay, then you are not doing your due diligence with this. You're not being consistent. They're not going to have that assumed trust with you. The assumed trust is there with me because I've built this foundation. I've consistently posted about it. Now I miss a day or two once in a while. Sometimes, you know what I mean? Like I've said I'm going to go live every single day and I never do. Okay? Like it never happens that way and that's okay because it's my business. I get to choose. Now, would my business be better if I went live every single day? You bet. You bet. Because I would be in their face. They'd be able to hear my expression, hear my passion, hear my experience. I know it would do better. It would do better. Okay, but the posting every single day is consistency. It lays a blueprint, or not a blueprint, like a trail, breadcrumbs, right? And so now this gal, she went to my page, she looked up some of the stuff, we had a conversation back and forth, and she'll be on our opportunity call tonight. Now, the only reason I haven't closed the deal is because she ended up in between. Do I want to sell it or just try it first? And so once that happened, instead of closing where I would be like, okay, well, let's get you sold here. I said, well, we have a call tomorrow night and I have patience, you guys. I'm not in a hurry. If I have to wait a week for someone to sign on, listen, Tiffany followed me for 9 years. Ain't that right? She's laughing. It's true. She followed me for 9 years before she ever decided to jump in with me anywhere. Okay. So I'm patient. And sometimes you need that because this is a vulnerable situation. When you have someone that struggled, especially we're not talking about the folks that come on and that like want to feel good and want to do athletic performance. We're talking about those people that have chronically suffered or have family members that have suffered for this long, that are they've been so screwed over by different companies, different products, different doctors, they've tried everything under the sun, right? They're vulnerable. They're scared to try something new. They don't want to waste more money. Most of them don't have more money to waste. So be patient with them. It's like if you walked on a used car lot, and I have nothing against used car salesmen. I'm saying if you walked on, that's just a good example, okay? And they come out and like, oh, you want this car, you want this car, and you're like, well, I was looking at this one. Oh, you want this one, you want this one. This has happened to me. I'll leave because you are too desperate for the sale of what's over there, and I don't know what that is. The desperation shows. Once you lose the fact that you're here not only to build a business but to change lives, if you can't take them out. You have to do both. But if you take out or put building a business before helping others, your business will grow very slowly. Very slowly. Okay. I'm just going to pre-warn you. I hear thunder starting to roll. So if anything happens, we'll have to continue later, but we should be okay. So the other things you can do is make sure you're watching trainings, utilize that Amazing Patch Stories group, post on your page daily, and I'll give you some ideas for that here in a minute. And then participate in groups. There's different groups out there on Facebook. When I had no one following me, when I had no one on my friends list, that's what I did. I was in a building group like Amazing Patch Stories, and I was in other groups that I could relate to. Okay. And at that time, it was fitness groups, things like that, because it applied to what I was promoting. Okay. And I would get in there and I would just make myself known. I would post consistently in there every day, once a day. I'm not telling you be in there all day long, right? I would have conversations in post because it's social media. You should be social for social media, right? um and I would build that, and that would attract people to me. Okay. And so that's what I did to build the network I have. And then I figured out the algorithm boosting system that I've taught you all, Blimp, which is also, we've trained on it, and it's in Miracle Workers as well, and on my YouTube. We've trained, and in my book. Let's just plug that. And in my book. Okay, we're done. And then pull it out. There we go. Randall's like, I got it. And the reality is I didn't know all these techniques. I just trialed and errored it. I just figured it out. So, participate in groups, invite people to the groups, or to the Amazing Patch Stories group, um, and then I also, did things like clean up my Facebook. Y'all. I've seen some of your Facebooks. I'm not talking just people on the screen, okay? I'm talking to everybody that's watching later. I've seen some of your Facebooks, and I've seen some of the stuff you post. And I don't know if you have your mother or your father on your Facebook, but you probably shouldn't. Okay. And I'm just saying that if you are looking to be an expert in your field, if you're looking to attract like minded individuals that want to run with you, you have to put yourself in check and make sure it's cleaned up. Okay. Now, I've been guilty as well. Don't scroll back 5 years. Crystal was a different Crystal at that time. I've developed in personal development all the way through the years. I've figured out myself. Okay. But the reality is you can't post a whole bunch of negativity and then a little bit of positivity and expect to get a positive message or response. Okay. So clean up your Facebook. Make sure your picture's nice. Make sure you have a picture. If you do not have an updated picture of yourself on Facebook, on your profile, change it. Okay. Change it. Get an updated picture on there. And then being consistent. I have be consistent written down about 35 times in this training. Okay. Because it's important. If you're not consistent, and on Monday, by the way, for Miracle Workers or for Miracle Moments, we're going to talk about DMOs, which will teach you how to be consistent. Daily method of operation. These are the bare minimum things that you need to do for your business. We're going to teach that on Monday's Miracle Moments at 10 a.m. Central. And of course, I'll record it. Okay. So let's talk about having a content strategy. So a content strategy means, share engaging content every day. What's engaging content? Questions, things people want to share or want to respond to. People love to give their input. So an engagement post can look like something as simple as what's your favorite movie quote, to what do you do for a headache, to does anyone have a recipe for chicken dumpling soup? Okay. It can be any of those things. An engagement post is important because it gets your people socializing on your platform. There has to be something consistent. Now, if you go to my page, you're going to see that, I post daily prayers. I try to uplift and motivate people. Okay. So every single day, my network knows if they're looking for a daily prayer, they know to jump into my Facebook and see what I'm posting that day. Okay. Another thing I started was a little blog for my family. Just once a day I post, and this is new for us, but once a day I post what our daily baked goods are, because the girls and I get up in the morning, we do some baked goods, and my husband goes out with the boys and they work. Okay. But every day I post a little tidbit of our life, just a snippet. Okay. Just a snippet, because I don't have to tell everyone everything about myself. I get to choose. Okay. And so I post a little bit there. Well, people now know she posts this every day. I have to check back if I want to keep up with it. Okay, that's an engagement post. Use relevant hashtags. If you have a post about freedom, I don't suggest you hashtagging Super Patch, if I'm being honest. Okay. You're opening your network to their network. Okay. Understand that. We can utilize everything corporate gives us, but don't open your network to corporate. Otherwise, invest back into it in the CapEx program because that's where it's going to go if you're opening your network to them. But relevant hashtags like hashtag pain, hashtag drug free living, hashtag wellness, hashtag kids health, hashtag adults health, hashtag sports physicals. I know I'm going fast, but these are just things to get you on your mindset going, your mind spinning. Okay. And we can do more trainings on this as well. I'm entirely open. I would love to hear from you guys to tell me what you would like to learn about, because otherwise I'm going to keep giving you this broad spectrum of lesson. If you have something really specific, you're like, I would really like to focus solely on this, I got you. Just let me know. Okay. Post every day to maintain your audience. Again, what does that mean? Be consistent. Post every single day. Make sure you have a business post or an opportunity post or a product post on your wall every single day. Now, I'm going to encourage you all after we're done here to go to my page. Okay, don't share from my page. Go to my page and see how I've taken the post from Amazing Patch Stories, because I've posted every day for like the last week in there. Share your experience below with Liberty Patch, with Freedom Patch, with Defend Patch, with every patch. Okay. Then I go in and I screenshot those testimonies. I cut them down. It takes me a couple minutes. Yes, you have to work a little bit, right? And then I go on my Facebook and I use that graphic and I say, check out what other people are saying or what people are saying about this patch. Okay. And so once that happens, I go into my comments and I post all of them. That does a couple things. Okay. Number one, it boosts my algorithm because there's more comments on that post. Number two, my link is not shared in the content description of that post. I suggest you stop doing that. If you want traffic on your post and you continue to post that link right in the description of that post, Facebook will continue to shadow ban you. They're not going to post it. They're not for us. You have to work the system. So instead, what I do is I put my link on the picture, which I have to add myself, so a little work. And then I put my link in the comments along with all of the testimonies. Now, they're not getting tons of traction right away, but I don't delete them, because the way the algorithm works is someone's going to see a post of mine a month from now from a month before, and they're going to go, how did that Freedom Patch work? I've already gotten people in my inbox saying, hey, how are these patches working? I have used these patches for a year and a half. A year and a half I've been posting. These are people that are close-ish, we'll say, what are they? Associates of mine, right? People I know, okay? That a year and a half now I've been using this technology, and they're finally going, tell me more about that patch. And it's coming because I'm consistently posting every day about our product or our opportunity. Another option, like what we're about to do right now. So if you can be on camera and make sure you're smiling, because we're going to take a picture and I'll share that picture with you. But we're going to take a picture because this is another thing you can do. You can share pictures of our Zooms and you can say something like, what a great Zoom with my team. I'm so thankful for our team. Well, what team is that, Crystal? What are you doing these days? Okay, let's take a picture. Ready? Hold on, I don't want my camera in it. Okay, ready? Smile, Miss J. Oh, there we go. Get in there. Xavier, make sure you're smiling. All I see is your ear, darling, or baby's ear. Okay, ready? I don't know who we have in there, but that's beautiful. Okay. Oh, that's not going to work, you guys. There we go. We're good. All right. So I'll share that to our team. Okay. So that way we can have it. Oh, we're teaching them young, you guys. She's so cute. Okay. So another thing you can do is that's an opportunity post, right? I'm so grateful to have a team of people that are like-minded that want to help people. And then you post on your wall. You don't need to tag me. You don't need to tag anyone. Okay. And we can come and we can love on it. Yes, Jeanette, I can see you. We can come and we can love on it. Okay. And so make sure that you're posting something every single day. And then, like I said, take a peek at mine. If you ever get lost and you're not sure what to post about, look at what your leaders are posting. Go out there. And not every person, not every leader is building online. So acknowledge that. Okay. But go out there and follow some people that are. And then use them for creative thought. Use them to make your wheels spin a little bit. And then create. Okay. And if you ever need ideas, get into our chat, get with your leader, get with someone, and let's talk about what you can be posting. Or go into Amazing Patch Stories and just take a testimony. Just don't share that person's name. If you look in the comments of those posts that I just talked about, you'll go in and you'll see that I cut everyone's name out of that comment. I'm not aligning. There's two reasons. Ready? Number one, those are privately shared in a private group, and that's out of respect for those people that may not want their name shared. Number two, 90% of those people sharing are associates, and I'm not opening my network to you. Okay. And I mean that with love, but I'm trying to teach you all, do not open your network to me. I'm not going to take it intentionally. But once you do that, okay, and here's the misleading thing. I have a huge network, a huge number on social media. Okay. I would never want someone to see that number on social media and think I'm more qualified to help them than what you can do with them. And that's why I'm always preaching, do not open your network to me. It's not anything like I'm shady and going to take them from you. I'm just trying to teach you ways to make sure it's clean. There are people that will post, share your link of your business in the comments. Do you know what you're doing? You're opening your network to every other network marketer on the planet to share their link in your business because your page is your business. That's your storefront. I wouldn't walk around having Thrive packs in one pocket and Truvy whatever in this pocket and Ignite in the back. I'm only going to wear that Ignite. I'm going to share off that Ignite. That's what I'm selling. That's what I'm promoting. That's what I believe in. Okay. All right. Build your network. Build your network, meaning join relevant groups. We talked about this. Connect with people on social media, meaning comment, meaning literally have conversations. It's called social media. Okay. The other thing is don't be afraid to reach out to people. Stop being afraid to have conversations. What have we talked about? What did Steve teach us? What did we relayed? We're not looking for no's. So I have to talk to 100 people that tell me no, I'm gonna brush it off and move on because I know what I've got. No one can take away my testimony from you. Can they take away your testimony, Delray? Nope. Nope. Tiffany, yours? Jeanette, Stephanie, Marcy, Xavier, Randall, can they take your test? Can they come up to you and say that patch didn't work for you? No. They can't take your testimony. So if someone tells you no, thank you for your time, move on. You're not here to beg them. You're not here to show them, wait for them to support you. Listen, I've lost friends over this business. I don't talk to family because of this business because I know what I struggled through for myself. Okay. And I know that if you can't see through my testimony how amazing this product is and you're going to bash it, then see you later. Okay, now I don't wish you guys cut off family and do the things. I'm just being real with you. The reality is no one can take my testimony. That's why I never worry about sharing it. What are you going to tell me? It didn't help me? You're going to tell me that I'm not using a walker anymore because of what? I'm using this patch and this patch has helped me. So I never worry. I never worry. I share my testimony. I share the information. I always say I'm just here to give you information for you to make an educated decision for yourself. That's it. And that's something I learned a long time ago in sales when I used to go knocking on doors to show them how a vacuum worked. Look, I'm not here to judge you based on your dust mites, but I'm here to give you information to make an educated decision for your household. Okay? Simple. And then of course, like I said, use the blimp system. Use that system. I've created it. I won't say perfected it. I've mastered it, we'll say. And there are people that are utilizing that are seeing mass growth, and that's what you want. Recruit. Let me go to the chat real quick. No, you should not post your super patch link on your post. So you have the picture that maybe you're sharing, and then you have your description. What I always do is say something like, look in the comments, or I do a little emoji finger that's pointing downward, something like that. And then I put my link in my comments, because that will allow the algorithm, because they're not gonna, you don't pay Facebook unless you're paying for that ad or that post to be boosted. You don't pay them to advertise for you, which is why they hate network marketers. Okay. Are you understanding? We monetize the crap out of that platform. Okay. And so unless you're paying them to boost that post, they're going to shadow ban that post. You might get 5 or 10 random people that'll comment on it, but you're not going to get the growth and attention that you would if you don't have it right directly in there. Plus, it allows people to click on that. And when they click on your post, it boosts your engagement with the algorithm as well. So there's some tricks with that. And then let's see, opening your network, Jeanette, that just means opening your network means like, let's see, if this book is all of my, this book is all of my products, right? And instead of putting my link on there, I put your link on there and I hand it out to all my potential people. I've just opened my network to you. You understand? My network is the people I know, the group of people I know, my potentials, my customers, those people. So by sharing my post on your page, it tells them click on my post, because it puts me as an authority above you, and I'm not. I'm your leader here, but that's it, right? Like, we are all equal. We all have the same, beautiful. We all have the same ability here to grow and learn. Some of us are a little more advanced because we have different experiences or whatever it is, but we all have the same potential here. Okay? So what I don't want is someone to see that you've shared my post and rather click on me and then go, well, this girl has all these followers, so I should go with her because she can help me better than Jeanette. That's not true. I'll help you with Jeanette, right? We know that's true. Yeah. But I never want someone to assume that because of a credential that someone is better off helping them. Because there are a lot of people, even, look, here's the reality is there are tons of people that come into this business under a specific leader and they just learn better from another leader. That's why we do these collaborative meetings. That's why I share, like, after I'm done doing this with us, our team, okay, then we share it to the rest of the network as far as Steve's downline on down, because that's our community, so that everyone can grow. But the reality, like I said, is that does not make me better or worse for someone than it does for you. It just means I have a little bit more experience in different things. Yes, you should always copy and paste and then make it your own a little bit. Okay, so let's look now. Let's talk about recruiting. We need to be recruiting. Show up as how you want to be seen. I posted a few weeks ago, I said, some people will only recognize you at a version of yourself that they could take the most advantage of you. And that also relates to some people will only recognize you at the version of yourself that's closest to them. Okay. And I think that everyone could take a moment to think in their lives of people that they've felt connected to or bonded to, or, they've had a relationship with that they've maybe outgrown because of own personal things, and nothing personal to that person, right? But the reality is you can't pull everybody up with you. You can't do that. And so when that happens and you have people in your life that are still at the version of your old self and they're not where you are personally developed at, they're going to pull you down. Okay. And what I've learned throughout the years is as I advance into whom I'm supposed to be, as I listen to my spirit and I grow within myself, how I show up is how I want to be seen. Does not make me fake. It means I'm growing. Okay. And there are always going to be people that come to you and say, well, that's not really her. I remember her from back in the day. I remember when he was this person. And the reality is when you're working through personal growth, there's always going to be some kind of pullback, but you still have to show up how you want to be. I did a training probably about a year ago where I talked about I chose her. I decided her. I created her, and her is me. I decided who I wanted to be. I decided who I wanted to be as a leader. It's all about mindset. Okay. It's all about mindset. So show up as how you want to be seen. All your business doesn't need to be out there, which means literally you get to choose what parts of your life you share on social media. Do you know how many people think they know every single thing about me and I share 5 minutes of my life a day? And it's still enough. It's still, I have people that'll stop me in the grocery store. Hey, how are you doing? I saw that this and this and that. And I'm like, I'll forget I posted it. I'll forget. I was like, how'd you know that? Because you shared it on Facebook. Oh, yeah. So don't put all your business out there. If you're stressed out, you're fighting with your spouse, your kids made you angry, your adult children stopped talking to you, your business isn't working the way, your team isn't listening, that doesn't belong out there. You're literally attracting all of that back to you. So when you get out there and you put yourself in check on social media and you show up how you want to be seen, how you feel authentically true to yourself, everything starts to fold in and you will attract the right people for your team. And I'll also say attracting is different than chasing, because we all have that list. We all have that list, okay? Where we're like, that is my all-star team. That's my wish list. I wish that person would leave their company and come over here because they do so good. We have that wish list, okay? But even those people, I do not chase, I attract. And that's an affirmation you can say, by the way, right? I do not chase, I attract. And you have to believe that. But you can attract the type of people that you want running on your team. You can't attract a Crystal Green if all you're doing is being negative. You can attract people that are going to run in the business if all you're doing is sitting still. You can attract people who are going to post daily and get into those groups and get you on three-way calls if you're not doing it yourself. You have to do it yourself, but you have to be patient because we're all on our own journey. And though our paths might be like the same way, it doesn't mean that we're all hitting those checkpoints at the same time. So we just have patience with our journey and we stay consistent. Make yourself relatable. Make sure people can relate to you, right? I don't post all the extravagant things. I don't want people to think that my life is so extravagant that they can't do what I do. Do you understand that? When we go to events and we have our corporate nights and they're so beautiful, and I used to do like galas where you'd go out and you'd get in like, I don't know, queen attire, right? Like you'd be dressed in gems and you're up there like you're celebrity. People look at those things, and while it's a lot of fun for us, they're like, I could never do that. I couldn't do that. And the reality is I'm a disabled mom of 5 and I started this business from my bed, which I'm in my closet right now, y'all. Okay? Anyone can do this. But if you don't seem relatable because your version of yourself, now it's not, I'm not saying don't create a version of yourself to where you want to be that elevates you. Because if you want to be that person that wears gems all over your chest and rings and all the things, do that. Okay. But the reality is if you want to be relatable, Stephanie's like, I don't know about that. If you want to be relatable, you have to be a people person. You got to relate. They have to be able to say, I can do that too. So keep it simple, right? Mark would appreciate that. Display your products. Like I said, if you want to attract and recruit, you have to display your products. They have to know what it is they're getting into. Talk about it. Share the picture of all of us on the screen. Talk. Be consistent. Um, and then of course I wrote down, if you want to recruit leaders, show up as a leader. Now we know what that means, right? Yeah. Yeah. There was a saying I think my parents used to say, I know they used to say, do as I say, not as I do. And as a leader, I'm here to tell you, do as I do. I'm never going to ask you to do or tell you to do something I wouldn't do myself, or I'm not already doing myself. So show up as a leader. Engage and follow up. And I know we've just got about 5 minutes here, and I promise I'm going to get it done. If you ask a question on Facebook, so if you have one of those engagement posts where you're like, who has a good recipe for this? Who has this? And you're asking for people's input, engage back with them. Thank you for your input. Even if you never use that recipe a day in your life, okay? Thanks for your input. What that does for you, number one, it starts to build a relationship with someone that you may not have one with yet, or it validates a relationship you already have with someone. 3, that was 1 and 2. 3, it tells the Facebook algorithm that you're using social media to be social, and it boosts your post. Okay? Interact, I just said that. Get them into Messenger. That's where the money is made. You're not going to have someone 9 times out of 10 open up with you in a chat, or no, excuse me, in a post under a comment. That doesn't give me the flexibility to say, well, Stephanie, could you tell me a little bit about what you're struggling with? That comes in the messenger or a chat or a text or a call. You have to get intimate one-on-one with them. And you're an expert in your field, even if you don't feel like it. You might feel like you're not an expert. You might feel like, well, I don't know everything. I don't even know what the glue is on those patches. You don't need to. You're an expert because you're an expert in your experience with this patch. Do you understand that? No one can take your testimony from you. That's the beautiful thing. And none of us are faking it. Listen, there's 12 patches. If you're not seeing results on one, go put a different one on. Seriously. Okay. Make it about them. Make sure those conversations go back to them. I know we're a lot, we like to relate. So we like to say things like, oh, I totally get it. And this is my story, and spew information. But if you just stop long enough and listen, there's a thing that my husband actually sent me the other day. I think he was trying to give me a hint, but it said something along the lines of women like to chat. Women like to exchange conversation back and forth. So if we're having a conversation, we're just waiting for you to take a breath so we can engage with you and relate with you. But if we slow down and we stop talking and we counted to like 30 seconds, men would open up a whole lot more. And I thought about that with what we do with network marketing. And I thought men like to take their time and think about what they're going to say. Okay. Women like to just get it all out there. That's why I talk so fast half the time, because I'm like, I got to get them engaged. I got to make sure I'm giving them value, you know? But if we just slow down a little bit, and instead of having that message back, that relatable statement back to them, we just let them continue, they're going to tell you a whole lot more. And then they're going to start telling you buying words. And those buying words are for us like pain. I've tried everything. My kid struggles, my family, work, where I go. Mark's touched base on this not too long ago as well. Steve touched base on it all the time. Carrie does. When we do discovery, we're letting them tell us what they need so we can help them decide what they need. And when you go from helping them figure it out, like I mentioned earlier, where I said, what patch on this list would help you the most? She said what she needed. I didn't tell her what she needed. So, you know what I mean? There's a little bit more trust for herself than there is someone else. And the reality is it's not skewing them in any way. It's just, it's teaching them to figure out what they need for themselves. And it's helping us to build that foundation with them. And then, of course, three-way messages, videos, the opportunity calls. We want to make sure we're getting them into amazing patch stories. I just add 25 people every single day from my friends list. Every single day, I add people from my friends list to that group. I don't care if I've ever spoke to them, if they're in another company, I don't care. We have enough admins, and coming from an admin myself, right? We have enough admins in that group making sure that the posts that are going in there and the content being shared is compliant and good all the way across the board, that don't worry about who you invite to that group, because that one person that's in network marketing that kind of tends to be all over everyone else's page and you're afraid to open a little bit, they might see this opportunity in that group and go, this is for me. And every network marketer starts out a customer. I just stayed quiet for a second because I want you to know that. I chuckle a little bit, and you guys, this might go over like 3 minutes. If you have to jump off, I understand, but I just have one more thing with you. But I chuckle a little bit when people, it breaks my heart, to be honest. I'm not laughing about it. It breaks my heart to know that, let's say 700 people in my downline, and when there's like 200 people that aren't active, I think to myself, do these people remember that they were customers first, and the reason they got started in this business is because the patches helped them? So if someone's not getting at least active a month, that means they're not using the technology, which means they let it get to their head that they got too impatient to try build a business. And most of us are not experts in this field. They got too impatient and they let the business side of things overpower their testimony and their actual reason they started in this business. And it was because it helped them or someone they loved. We all start out as customers. So don't be afraid to share that with them. We don't have to recruit every single person we talk to. We shouldn't. How many of you have people on your team right now? You don't have to raise your hand, but think about it. How many of you have people on your team right now that don't show up, don't get active, don't get involved, don't do anything? You feel like you're dragging them through every single process, every step of the way. They're not showing up. They're not listening to anything you're teaching them. You don't have to raise your hand because I know every single person listening here can think of at least one person. And the reality is that person probably should have been a customer. And then you push people to a point where they should have been a customer, and you end up getting them to the point where they're so overwhelmed that they forget that they should be wearing the technology, which would help your volume in the first place. We've missed VP April, May, June, July, August, 5 months in a row now. We're not going to hit it this month, and that's okay with me. The reality is it's because it's volume. But if every single person in my organization got active, which means they bought their patches, which means they're using their technology, we'd be there. I acknowledge that, having been in this industry. Okay, I acknowledge that about our what we're doing. I'm not angry. I just know that they should have been customers. Okay. Okay, so do not try to be anyone else. Authenticity always wins. And finally, we're going to end with this. Don't forget to share. Are you ready? S, seek out new connections. So S stands for seek out new connections. I'll put it in our chat as well. H, help others with product or opportunity. Help others with product or opportunity. A, attract like-minded individuals. Attract like-minded individuals. R, recruit and mentor new team members. Which means when you get them here, you better be aligning them with someone that knows what they're doing, or you better have figured it out and got them plugged into the system. Because all of us leaders here, I'm telling you, director on up, every single person in that establishment. Now, I'm not counting out our team leaders. I'm not counting out our qualifieds. I'm just letting you know, director on up for me, okay? Those are people that have put in the work to strategically place and build 2 separate organizations. You understand? Not just their own. All right? And all of us have put in work here to make sure that we have a system that's duplicatable, that you should be plugging people into. There are so many resources here. When I hear people say, I didn't get plugged in, I don't know what I'm doing here, all these people are winning and I don't know what to do, I ask them, are you plugged in? Because if you're not mentoring these people when they come in, you're doing disservice to yourself and to them. So you connect them with your leader, you get them plugged in on a 3-way call within that first few days of them signing up. They need to plug in. You put your pride aside, because the reality is to get where I am, you have to go through the steps that I went through. 3-way calls, opportunity calls, plugging in, staying consistent. That's all I did. That's all I did. Okay. That's all Steve did. That's all Jay did. Right? Let's be real. Okay. So that was R. E is empower others to succeed. Delary always talks about it when she shares a testimony about her leadership testimony, a business testimony on the opportunity calls. She always says, we get to empower and help other people. And that's more than we've been able to do in other companies. We get to empower and help other people. And you need to keep that mindset. That needs to be where your mindset is always. Okay. And then, that's what I've got for you today. So, I mean, the biggest take home for you is, if you want to be successful on social media, you have to be consistent. Okay. You have to just show up and be a little patient. Now, I've learned over prayer over the last few years that when I pray for patience, he gives me more opportunities to be patient. Okay. I've just learned it. But the reality is just be patient and plug in every single day. It doesn't have to be a 9-to-5 job. Plug in and make sure that you're doing it consistently, and then utilize all the tools we've given you. Okay. And then the last thing I'll say is, reminder tonight again, Thursday night opportunity call with Mark Jackson, 8 p.m. Eastern. And the person who invites, has the most guests on tonight, they're going to get a copy of my book. So that's why I plugged it in earlier, because I wanted to show you guys what it is. So, and this is all about boosting your algorithm on specifically Facebook platforms. So yeah, this has 100 days worth of content ideas. It's got different live ideas, 30 days worth of lives. It's all of my experience in this area. Okay. I'm going to give it to the person who has the most guests on tonight's opportunity call. And so yeah, so Stephanie, I'm going to stay on to share Blimp with you because you asked in the chat, but if anyone has to leave right now, feel free. I really appreciate you guys plugging in. Monday is our next training. It's Miracle Moments. That one I do with Carrie Hellum. She's VP here, okay? Leader of Miracle Workers Group. And she and I are going to plug in and teach you DMOs. And so be on there 10 a.m. Central on Monday. I'll share the link. We'll share the link. Make sure you're there. But otherwise, I will stay on now to teach you Blimp system. If you'd like to learn it, just stay on. Otherwise, I won't take more than 10 minutes. So, okay. So Stephanie, Blimp system is an algorithm boosting system that I created based on a few different systems that I've learned over the years in different industries that I've been in. And